Hello, everyone, and welcome Blue Jays Breakdown. I'm so grateful you're here. If you're enjoying this content and would like to see more videos like this, please support the channel by subscribing.
Here's some breaking news, folks. It's actually happening. Ben Nicholson-Smith has just dropped a bombshell report surrounding the Jays' pursuit of Max Scherzer, and things have not only gotten very real very fast, but it appears that a signing is imminent. We're going to break down this new report and discuss what it means going forward for this Blue Jays team, the pitching staff, but also the impact it will have on Jose Barrios and Eric Lauer, as well as a ton of other updates, including some spring training things. But folks, brand new reports kind of came out of nowhere here. You're going to want to stay tuned until the very end of the video. But before we get into it, a very quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. You guys' support's been unbelievable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been on the Max Scherzer train for a very long time. And as we inch closer and closer to the opening day and spring training games are starting tomorrow, I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to happen for a few months. Ben Nicholson-Smith just dropped a huge report revealing that while nothing is finalized officially, the Blue Jays' talks with Max Scherzer have gotten more serious in the last week, per industry sources. Other clubs are in the mix, but the Blue Jays now appear to be his most serious pursuer on a possible one-year deal. So this is very big news for a variety of reasons. One, obviously, I've covered Max Scherzer on the channel a bunch. His clubhouse, presence is probably his number one asset at this point of his career. And we'll dive into his stats. We'll dive into all those things. But at this juncture, they would be bringing him back for depth to the starting rotation, but of course also to mentor guys like Trey Savage, to mentor guys like even Ricky Tiedemann, who might be coming up, and other pitching prospects. It's super exciting. I'm fired up about this, but let's dive into the full report. Again, it's not finalized as of now, but the Blue Jays appear to be his most serious pursuer. Whether an agreement can be completed remains to be seen, but the sides have been discussing a one-year deal, so it would be a one-year deal, which obviously is 41, that would deepen the Blue Jays pitching staff while also bringing back a competitor whose intensity helped set the tone within the clubhouse for the 2025 team that reached the World Series. So this is awesome, right? I'm absolutely a fan of this. You can see that last sentence from Ben Nicholson-Smith that makes things even, more obvious here. Setting the tone in the clubhouse. That's something that the Jays really had last year, right? Their number one thing was their vibes. Ernie Clement, Max Scherzer. And Max Scherzer was at the head of that, especially for the rotation. You bring him back, you'll be in very, very good shape, both in the depth department, but also for other reasons. Now, the report also goes to say, in the scenario that the Jays did sign Scherzer, the team would likely be very patient with him. One possibility would have him ramp up gradually with a view toward being ready in late April or May. So this is very notable as well, because we know there's been a lot of reports, and I've covered it in the channel. Scherzer won't be ready probably for opening day in a month or so. You have him ready for April or May. He'll still be around the team in spring training. He can help, talk with some of the younger pitchers and do all those things, while also, ramping up for the beginning of the, his start to the season in April or May. And he'll help, especially what's going to be, we know baseball seasons are extremely long. It makes all the sense in the world. And you look at his stats last year, they don't jump off the page, right? The baseball savant doesn't really jump off of the page, but it's all the intangible things that Max Scherzer brings. Now, he put up a 5.19 ERA in 17 games. Some of those games were really, really good. We remember some of them were really, really bad. He had some stretches of fantastic play. He was dealing with the injury, the thumb, all these different things. And then ultimately, he came back, started in Game 7 of the World Series, and gave them a hell of a good shot to win the World Series. Not going to bring that up. They, of course, didn't win it. He still has stuff left in the tank, right? And if it's between him or Eric Lauer, a lot of fans out there would probably rather the experience and the grit of Max Scherzer over a guy like Eric Lauer, who is very, very good and had a great year last year, but is due for some regression, right? And that's at the point now where that's what Ross Atkins is thinking about. And we think about what he's been saying recently, and all signs kind of pointed to another move happening. Just a couple days ago from Shai Davidi, a few days ago, sorry. To that end, Jesus Sanchez's acquisition from Houston for Lo Perfido was aimed at restoring some of the lost power, which we know in lieu of Anthony Santander's injury. And the Blue Jays continue to poke around the market looking for ways to improve. And that is in both the pitching department and the offensive department. But it seems like they're going to be starting by improving the pitching department. And it's super exciting stuff, right? Because you look at again, Max Scherzer last year, pretty serviceable, I guess would be the word, even though he had some really bad starts. It's going to happen, I think. And the deal's not going to be crazy. 1 year, $10 million. We'll have to kind of see. It'll probably be similar to last year's deal. It's hard to get better value there when you combine his off the field presence with his on the field presence. Have him start 6 or 7 or 8 games, something like that, 9 games, 10 games, whatever it ends up being. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount, but something that allows him to slowly but surely, he can even be out of the bullpen as a long man. Just get him on the club, act as like a secondary coach, like I've been talking about for a while. Now, the only negative to that is how it's going to affect the other players. Puts major pressure, and this is from Zach Marshall on Twitter, puts major pressure on Berríos to perform, and nothing against Lauer, but I'd still rather have Scherzer on the bump at his age, even if he only makes a few starts. It's obvious that they love him on the bench. And it is true, right? They love his veteran leadership. They love his veteran presence. But it makes a good point. It puts a lot of pressure on Jose Berríos. Now, Jose Berríos left the team in the World Series, was dealing with an injury, all these different things. The vibe's a little bit weird. I think I'm ready to put that past. It's in the past now. But it puts pressure on Jose Berríos, and it sure as hell puts pressure on Eric Lauer as well. So if Jose Berríos goes out there and he doesn't perform right off rip, he knows he has a guy like Max Scherzer, who's a veteran, played good last year overall, in the wings, right?
Max Scherzer to the Blue Jays is not just a rumor anymore. It is happening, and the details surrounding this signing will completely change how you view this Blue Jays roster heading into the 2025 season. Welcome to Blue Jays Breakdown. Before anything else, please hit that subscribe button and help get this channel to 2K subscribers, because every single update, every report, every breakdown lands right here first. Binnacle Smith just dropped a report that stopped the baseball world in its tracks. The Blue Jays' conversations with Max Scherzer have intensified dramatically over the past week alone. Other clubs are involved, but Toronto is now his most serious pursuer. A one-year deal is on the table, and while nothing is signed yet, the momentum is undeniable and pointing in one direction. Think about what this actually means for a team that already reached the World Series last year. Scherzer was a massive part of that clubhouse energy. His intensity set the tone for the entire rotation. He started Game 7 of the World Series and gave that team a genuine shot at winning it all. You bring that back into the building, and the entire pitching staff feels it immediately. The plan would not have him ready for opening day. The expectation is a gradual ramp-up targeting late April or May. That timeline actually works perfectly because he would still be present through spring training, talking to younger arms, working with guys like Trey Savage, possibly Ricky Tina, and functioning almost like a secondary pitching coach while quietly preparing his own arm for the season ahead. His numbers last year, a 5.19 ERA over 17 games, were not eye-popping. Some starts were outstanding and others were rough. But the intangibles Scherzer carries onto a roster cannot be measured in a stat line. His presence alone creates accountability throughout the pitching staff, and that accountability now falls directly on Jose Berríos and Eric Lauer. Welcome back to Blue Jays Breakdown, and if you have not subscribed yet, now is the time. Help push this channel to 2K subscribers, because this is where every Blue Jays move gets broken down the moment it drops. Berríos left the team during the World Series dealing with injury, and the situation carried some strange energy heading into this offseason. Scherzer waiting in the wings for April or May puts Berríos on notice from day one of the regular season. Same goes for Lauer, who had a strong year but is sitting in a spot where regression is coming. Scherzer does not replace them, he pressures them, and that pressure creates a better team. The current rotation has serious question marks everywhere. Savage may be under an innings limit. Bieber is returning from injury and his timeline is uncertain. Cody Pond is relatively unproven at the big league level. Berríos is a wild card. This rotation desperately needs a veteran presence with postseason experience and a championship mentality, and Scherzer fits that description better than anyone available. Spring training officially begins today, and the Jays open tomorrow against Philadelphia, with Kazuma Okamoto making his first appearance in a Jays uniform, which on its own is worth watching closely. But the Scherzer move feels like it is coming before spring training even wraps up, meaning this roster is about to look very different very fast. Comment below, who do you want starting for the Blue Jays, Max Scherzer or Eric Lauer? Drop your answer, and do not forget to subscribe and help Blue Jays Breakdown reach 2K subscribers, because this channel is your home for every update that matters.